Like Gore Vidal, I never wanted to do anything else but go to the movies. Perhaps because Werner Herzog, the brilliant German director, was right when he said that movies can transmit ecstatic truth, a special truth full of deep human meaning. Well, my name is Jim, and these are the Academy Movie Junkies. This is our studio, and we're very proud of it. We like it. And in here, we're making a series of programs for the internet about movies. And I'll ask my on-air colleague, Brian, to explain a bit about the movies.
Thanks, Jim. Well, what it is we try to do here at Movie Junkies is we take a look at films dealing with drug addiction and alcoholism, films generally dealing with darker or heavier topics, and we try to relate them to different topics in recovery. And what Jim and I do, as well as all the junkies, is we go around campus and we talk to people here, at this treatment facility, Gatehouse Academy, about what their view is on the film or on that specific topic.
This song is called Half Nelson, for those times when you're feeling kind of stuck.
This machine is keeping me down. Now, what is that? What keeps us from being free? Miss Dre.
Prisons.
Absolutely.
The school.
School. Exactly. The whole education system.
Aren't you the machine then?
Oh, no, you didn't. A little elbow here and there never killed anybody. Not in my house.
You don't gotta worry about me.
Oh, look at you, Miss 12. 13 now. Oh, so you grown, huh?
What's new?
I don't know.
Well, if you need something, let me know, all right?
The sun goes up and then it comes down. But every time that happens, what do you get? You get a new day. So what you need, teach? I cleaned up for the most part. I do it now to get by, but I can handle it.
Coach, can you help me up?
I'm fine.
Who are you?
Same old. Well, I feel good today. Anyone else feel good?
You ever think about working? Easy, right? Sure beat flipping burgers.
I know that I'm the last person that should be saying this.
Don't have to worry about me.
We are sinners, but we can strive to be good.
What he called cheese is not yours. Nacho cheese. Is there something going on that I should know about?
Some people change. Some people actually change.
Yeah, not me. I'm one man. What do I do? I need you to stay away from Dre.
Excuse me? Mr. Model A1 citizen.
I don't know.
He your teacher, Dre.
He's my friend.
Baseheads don't have friends.
We're always changing. And there are some changes you can't control, but there are others you can. Second chances are rare, man. You ought to take better advantage of them.
All the characters in the film really, from what I saw, had a level of realism to them, a believability going on. And there was no, like we discussed this, Jim, there was no genuine bad guys, as there often are in, films involving drug abuse and drug addicts. Often there's a dastardly drug dealer or somebody who rules the block or has a monopoly on a bunch of human, people's lives. And every character portrayed in this film was genuinely a likable person, just a person trying to get by. Something that, you said, it seemed to be a rough neighborhood, and everybody was doing the best with what they had, essentially. And Ryan Gosling, he portrayed essentially a functioning addict, and that being, a functioning addict, that being a man who's addicted to drugs, but also showing up at his job and taking care of the base responsibilities of what his job entails, but, still lagging behind on various things. So, through working in treatment, I've seen a lot of people come in who say, oh, well, I was holding down a job, I'd go to the construction site and I'd go home and I'd have a couple oxys at the end of the day, because I had back pain or whatever. So, I've met a lot of people like that. Me, for one, I don't think I ever was a functioning alcoholic and an addict. I would just wanted to black out and just time travel, essentially, because right then was not the time I wanted to be living in. You know what I mean? There wasn't a time I wanted to be living. So I don't know. I know you had a couple things you wanted to say on it, so.
Thanks. Well, Brian, I like this movie a lot, and I think I told you about it a long time ago. Of course, it isn't me that discovered it. Was very well known and got superb reviews. Ryan Gosling was nominated for a number of awards. Superb actor. Yeah, the idea of the functioning addict is important, and that was something that I thought I was. I mean, I really did think I was that. I didn't, when I was a teacher, I wasn't into drugs or anything. But later on, I did have important jobs, and I did use drugs, and I did go to meetings, and I did things happen, and so on. And you don't really, if you're the addict, you don't see it until finally your colleagues, like in my case, said, Jim, maybe you better go into treatment, and because this isn't working out.
I'm 23 years sober, coming up on 24, and I was definitely a functioning alcoholic. I was going to school in my drinking days, and then towards the end, after I'd graduated from college and was working, I was working as a therapist, and I would show up for work every single day on time, would do my work, and then every night would go out to the bar. It's highly possible and easy to do.
I'd say a lot of the kids that come in who think they're functioning generally are kids who don't really they haven't experienced reality yet on their own as of being financially stable and self-supporting in that sense. A lot of the kids who come in, who claim to be self-supporting come in, on their parents, having lived on their parents' money, and I think it's a good way. I mean, it's kind of rare to find someone who's actually comes in who has been working their own job. I've seen it a couple of times, and generally with those people, usually their lives have become unmanageable enough for them to be able to see themselves, through working the steps, that, they weren't successfully living life, even with a job, with a car, with a girlfriend.
It wasn't until later that I started beginning to really see what happened to me. My bottom was pretty high. And so for me, it was a real matter of peeling that away. And having my therapist and my sponsor and the folks in AA helped me to see that even though I was a functioning alcoholic and I didn't have the barroom fights, and I wasn't homeless, and I wasn't sleeping on people's sofas, and I didn't have any of those things. So my denial and my defenses were very high. But when they began to show me where my morality was being compromised, where my values were being compromised, where I was selling myself in more way than one, very promiscuous sexually, giving up all kinds of things, throwing money away, then that's when, for me, I began to see that I really am an alcoholic, and there was something that I had to do about it.
So there we are with Half Nelson, an excellent film starring Ryan Gosling. We chose as the theme for this, the functioning addict. And I wanted to give a little anecdote. The other day, I heard a fellow alcoholic say that if you don't have a drink, you won't get drunk. And he said, gosh, for years, I thought it meant if I don't drink too much, I won't get drunk. And what he's saying is that the alcoholic or the drug addict can't just have one drink. And that's where the functioning addict and the Ryan Gosling character has to understand that he's a drug addict, and he's going to have to understand that he's going to have to get into recovery, as you know, our people here at Gatehouse talk about all the time. Now, Brian, you had some comments there in that regard?
Well, I do agree with you when it comes down to it. The addict and the alcoholic does have to look at it in that black and white of a way. It's either you are an addict or an alcoholic or you're not. And often when you find yourself here at Gatehouse Academy or in treatment or maybe in a meeting, you're an addict or an alcoholic. There's a reason you're there. One thing that stuck out to me in the film, Jim, was the holes that the director and the writer left in the film. The things that we as the viewer kind of had to make up ourselves, you know what I mean? Such as, you know, there's no history given as to Dan's addiction, as to where he got into it and anything like that. He just kind of shows up, and he is a teacher addicted to crack cocaine. And I don't know, that's just something that stuck out to me in particular, because it was really almost an interactive film. And again, I just want to say I really enjoyed the feedback we got from some of our staff and residents here. There's always, you know, you can always see the truth in these films by looking at these interviews that we have with these people. You know what I mean? And it really shows the significance of the concepts that we're looking at. So, you know, once again, we're going to have notes on this film. If you go on to the website listed at the bottom of the screen and shoot us an email, we can send you notes, and hopefully you can take a look at those notes while viewing the film or afterwards and maybe pull something a little more out of it. Thank you.